All right, good morning, everyone. How are you? Story time here with Melissa. What are good manners? What are good manners? I have my channel here, and it is geared toward younger girls, those who still can have kids, right? Younger mothers, and especially in this day and culture, a lot of girls speak slang. They don't, in the restaurant business, they're not looking at proper English. They have their own code of the way they talk. So my channel is just really raw. It's just really right out there. So what are good manners? So when I was at a grocery store before, I graduated early from high school. Let me say that first. And I had a background where my people didn't always know how to read. They didn't know how to always write or speak correctly. Okay, so that's my background. And I also had speech problems and hearing problems as a kid. So that was one side of my family, right? And Dolly Parton talks about this. So I'm going to get into that too a little bit. So good manners is you don't point out everybody's uh, grammar. You just don't do it. So when I was at the grocery store, I was speaking to somebody, and I don't know what I said, and the lady said, "I love your accent. Where are you from? Are you from New York? Where are you from?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from New Hampshire. I'm a New Hampshire native, always have been." She's like, "I love the way you talk." She's like, "You have a beautiful accent." I don't know what I said, but that was really kind of her. On my channel here, I had someone mention that I said a word the wrong way. And someone else this morning said, don't pick on people, basically, don't pick on them. So basically, when you get picked on, as I have for the way I speak many times, um, it's it reflects on the person. It reflects on them more than on me. So um, when Dolly Parton was talking about something, she said her family was very hillbilly. I think it was the Barbara Walters interview. Yeah, that's what it was. She handled it. She handled that with a lot of class because Barbara Walters was just like, what kind of marriage do you have? You have your own career. Your husband's not part of your life much. I mean, you're not like together all the time. And she had a lot of class. She was just like, he gives me my freedom. I like to do what I like to do, and he has his freedom to do what he wants, and that's how our marriage works. And then she also, Barbara, coming across as this high class woman back in the time, right, talks to Dolly and is kind of talking to her in a way that, isn't probably the best interview in the world. And she says, "What about where you came from and stuff?" And Dolly says, "My family were very hillbilly, but they were a proud hillbilly. They were proud of who they were." And I think that's the key, too, to be proud of who you are. So when people want to come at you, I think it's important to handle some things with class. So Dolly, too, Barbara even had said, about, we all know Dolly Parton has, is very big chested, and she had even said, is it real, or, is this surgery? And Dolly again handled this with so much class. She's like, I've been well blessed in life, and if they weren't real, I would have surgery. And so she didn't really give her an answer. But the same thing, when people are rude to you, it reflects on them more than it does you. And something I did with my kids growing up is we watched, one of the shows I like is Bonanza, right? Old Western, TV show. And my dad used to watch this when I was growing up. He used to come home from construction, put his feet up after a long day, 4 in the morning until 6 at night, put his feet up. My mom would have dinner ready for him. He'd be in his chair trying to relax, usually watch, a little bit of Bonanza, and then doze off in his chair because he worked so hard as a construction worker. And So going back to that and watching them with my kids, there was an episode where one of the episodes there was this guy who was a hillbilly, and he was up in the mountains, and he tended goats. That was his job. And on the episode, this girl who liked Paul, was his name, had him over for dinner at the Cartwrights, and he was eating, and she also invited her rich, snooty cousin over, and with her extended family. And as he was eating with his hands too. Um, so that was their way, right? That was their way up in the mountains. So the cousin pointed out, that Paul did not eat with silverware. He didn't have the good manners that a man should have, and on it went. And in the show, he basically, the moral of the story was that he basically knew, although he was not rich and educated, he knew that pointing out somebody's lack of table manners was rude. And when he spoke up about it, he had put this woman in her place because she had been very rude to him. So the same thing, when people want to point out your grammar mistakes, and they want to point out your your how do I say this, your flaws, your not bad character, but maybe some flaws you have, that does reflect on them. So again, my channel is geared toward young girls. It's not geared toward proper, prim and proper people. I do not have a professional outfit on. These are girls who usually haven't come from much of a home, girls who are on the street, girls who, don't really care about grammar. They are trying to make it in the world and trying to survive. They're trying to, just have, what is the basic message? That's what my channel is about. If you've been blessed with a very, good upbringing, with a very good education, kudos to you, But my channel is geared toward girls who haven't had everything in life handed to them on a spoon, and they've had to work for things. So my channel, again, is geared to just the main message for girls, the main message, and how to keep your baby and how to raise your family on very little. And, you don't need other people's approval to have a YouTube channel. Instead of my channel coming across as an expert, so to say, mine is coming across more as a trusted friend that you can talk to, and who has shared my own life experiences with the world, and what I have gone through, and how to still be happy, and how to still have success in life on very little in life, and using all resources to take care of yourself. So that's what my channel is about. If I wanted an English major on my channel, then you'd have to go either somewhere else, or I would have to start that up in a different venue. But this is what my channel is. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.